One thing not to do is use this rough 36 grit aluminum oxide wheel, and another thing not to do is grind it sideways like this. Now, if you're welding on really thick material, like up 150 to 200 amps or something like that with this 3/32 electrode, you're probably not going to even notice a difference by grinding it sideways. But on welding stuff thin, you will notice a difference. So here I'm going to go ahead and grind one using a belt sander. This is about 80 grit, 80 to 100 grit belt. And I'm going to taper this one back a lot farther too, so you can see a distinct difference between the two. And I've laid them out on my metals and how to weld them book, which, by the way, is the best $10 book out there. But you can see the difference here. One of them's tapered way back with really smooth grinding marks, and this one's tapered blunt with grinding marks running sideways. And that is not ideal for welding on thin material. This is an 18 gauge stainless steel 1/4 inch hole that I would normally fill up, and I could easily use a 3/32 electrode, but watch the start on this. Never does go out to the tip, even at that low amperage. Doesn't reach the tip of the electrode, just goes off to the side. It actually melts the metal on the corner of the hole that's drilled there, but doesn't go accurately. Now, same size electrode, just much smoother wheel used, a smoother sanding belt used to sharpen it, and it's pretty good. It still wanders just a little bit at start at really low amperage, but once I get it on up to 10 or 15 amps, it's pretty stable. Not a problem there. It wasn't ideal on the startup. A smaller electrode would have worked better and given me a nice crisper start, but this is actually acceptable for something like this. So 3/32 electrode for filling in a hole on 18 gauge would work. But what about razor blades? These aren't actually like as thin as single edge razor blades. These are box cutter blades. They're 25 thousandths thick. But starting up on those at low amperage with the electrode tapered back far, not too bad. Not ideal, but doable. What we'll do now is we'll look at the other end, and I'll try to light up on that using the blunt tapered electrode where the grinding scratches go sideways. And again, not a crisp start. Arc wandering off the side of the electrode off one of those scratches before it ever goes to the tip. I've got to get it on up to about 10 amps before the arc ever comes off the tip and is accurate. But still, you know, you can kind of work around it if you get that filler rod in there to compensate. So now that I've got a tack on both ends of this thing, let me light up on the other end, putting the sharp electrode back in there. And you can see pretty smooth start, and I kind of melted a hole right away. But after I get going here at only about 10 amps, things are fine. So by tapering a 3/32 electrode really far back like a needle, you can do a lot better. It's still not as good as dropping down to the next size like a 1/16 electrode. But look what a good job that aluminum backing did on keeping the backside from discoloring.